Recently, we attended a meeting at the Petal School District regarding an increase in mills. Now, some of you may be wondering what this means, and I will do my best to explain it in this video. So before I get started, my name is Kayla Camp Burns, and I am running for Forest County Tax Assessor. One of the things that I think that we should be doing more of, especially our elected officials that are currently in office, whether that's tax assessor, tax collector, board of supervisors, we need to be very sure to always relay information like this as quickly and cohesively as possible. I am trying my best to do my part in that capacity. I have gone to the meetings regarding this bond issue. I am a resident here in Forest County and also in the city of Petal. I pay into city, county, and school. I have a daughter in the district. I graduated from the district. My dad and my mom graduated from the district in 1976. So we're heavily invested in this community here, and I am all about doing whatever we need to do to make sure that our education and our public schools succeed. But I do want to make it clear that my affiliation as a candidate ends here. I am not a decision maker in terms of this. I am simply a candidate running for Forest County Tax Assessor, and also I'm married to the media. My husband is a reporter for the local newspaper. So that is as far as our affiliation goes here, and we are just here to send the message, to relay information, and to help people make a very educated vote in May. All right, so let's get started. On May 16th, 2023, the citizens residing within the Petal School District, both in the city and the county, will have an opportunity to vote to approve the issuing of the bond from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday at the Petal High School Gymnasium. For the bond to be approved, 60% of those voting must vote in favor of this proposal. Side note, if y'all hear chirping in the background, my husband bought 2 ducks yesterday, and they are still under the heat lamp in our office right now. So that is that. I hope that it doesn't cause too much ruckus in the background, but I just wanted to put that out there. We have 2 new ducks named Ducker and Stringer. We've named them after our mayor and mayor pro tem. And so there you go. Just have a good little laugh, and let's get back to talking taxes. So the bond is needed because the Petal School District is currently at maximum capacity. The district has experienced a 7% increase in student population over the past 5 years, which is equivalent to almost the size of one whole grade. The addition of nearly 300 students has stretched the current facilities beyond their capacities. And regarding that growth there, Dr. Dillon mentioned that the largest ever graduating class from Petal High School was, I think, just over 300 students. So yeah, that puts that into perspective. So over the last 8 years, the Petal School District has stewarded resources to meet the ever-increasing needs for expansion without asking the community for additional support. A lot of people still don't know about these things. So one of them, an example, is the widening of Harrington Road. Surely y'all remember that road work when it was happening. I'm sure a lot of people complained about it when it was happening, but that was a necessity that the district just had, they needed to do that. And so the way they did it was they worked with the city of Petal to acquire the right-of-way and the eminent domain they needed to build the infrastructure and improve the infrastructure. Converting various workspaces into instructional space and adding portable classrooms. Y'all have probably seen this as well if you have students in the district. So the district has continually offered creative solutions to maximize funds while protecting critical instructional time for students. So how will this bond impact residents? Residents within the district will experience a 4.5 mil increase in property taxes. So currently, the Petal School District has a millage rate of 59.65, while the city of Petal has a millage rate of 46.21. It is expected that the increase in property taxes will decrease over the duration of the bond as the community experiences continued growth. And you can always visit deltacomputersystems.com to catch up on your taxes, to view your assessed value, your true value, your improved value, check out, make sure you have your homestead there, and all of that good stuff. So should this bond pass, it will go on to fund several new buildings and projects. There will be a new elementary school that we desperately need, and a new multi-purpose center. Also good to note, the last time the school district asked for an increase in millage was 2006, and before that, 1976. And if y'all don't know, 1976 is the year the school district incorporated. So that's a pretty good track record. So one big question that everyone is surely asking by now is, why is this increase needed? What is the money going to go for? And the answer to that was laid out before us at this meeting in very, very nice detail. And you can also see this information if you attend one of the upcoming meetings. I believe there's one on Monday and Tuesday of next week. You can visit the Petal School District website or their Facebook page to see the infographics regarding when those meetings will take place. One will be on Monday, April the 17th. The other will be on Tuesday, April the 18th. And you can see this presentation for yourself. Speaking about this from a personal perspective and as a taxpayer, I think that these improvements are definitely justified, and I think that this increase in millage is what it will take to make those improvements, to be quite honest. The superintendents in Mississippi fought for funding in the session this year. The legislature, for whatever reason, denied them the majority of what they were asking for. I say majority. They were granted $100 million, and they were wanting $181 million. But bottom line is, public education has not been fully funded at the state level since 2008, I believe. I could be wrong about that date, but just this past session that ended several weeks ago, many superintendents across the state of Mississippi went and lobbied for an increase in funding and for the full funding that is needed to make these changes and improvements. And they were given a little bit but denied the rest. So this is the other way that school districts can go about getting some extra funding when that happens, when they need it, and it is what taxpayers are here for. So I'm adding some clips with information about homestead exemption so that you can learn how you can get a credit against your taxes, and that is super helpful for people that are new homeowners, so stay tuned. Homestead exemption is a privilege offered to eligible taxpayers by the state of Mississippi. The exemption is not granted automatically, and an application must be filed, and each taxpayer must qualify for the exemption. There are two types of exemptions, regular and additional. The regular homestead exemption is given to all eligible taxpayers. The exemption is from all ad valorem taxes assessed to property, limited to the first $7,500 of assessed value, and limited to $300 of actual exempt tax dollars. Any ad valorem taxes imposed on the assessed value of property over the first $7,500 must be paid. Assessed value is determined by the tax assessor of the county in which the property is located. Homestead property is usually classified as a Class 1 property with a 10% assessment rate. However, if any income-producing activity is located on the property, it may be classified as Class 2 with a 15% assessment rate. Another thing to add is that pipelines, railroads, utility companies, and those sorts of things, those are all assessed by the Department of Revenue. And some of them are assessed at 30%, some are assessed at 15%. That's just a breakdown all in of itself. Additional tax exemption options. Any taxpayer that qualifies for the additional exemption has an even greater exemption offered to them. The requirements for the additional exemption are detailed in Rule 3, applicant. The exemption is from all ad valorem taxes assessed to property limited to the first $7,500 of assessed value. No dollar limit is placed on the actual exempt tax dollars. Any ad valorem taxes imposed on the assessed value of property over the first $7,500 must be paid. If you are over 65 years old and your house is worth $100,000, then your property tax will increase by about $11.25 per year if this bond were to pass. The Tax Commission reimburses the taxing unit for each eligible and allowed taxpayer. The counties and the separate school districts are reimbursed for the regular exemptions. The municipalities are reimbursed for the additional exemptions. In order for a taxing unit to receive reimbursement for any tax loss suffered due to an allowed homestead exemption, a request must be made to the Homestead Exemption Office. For a county, the request consists of the original copies of the Certificate of Tax Loss, the recalculation of the homestead exemption supplemental roll, affidavit of rolls, and the homestead exemption applications. For a municipality, this request consists of the original copies of the Certificate of Tax Loss, a municipal recalculation of homestead exemptions, municipal supplemental roll, affidavit of municipal rolls, and the certified tax levy. The reimbursement is made in 2 payments during the year. The first payment is made March 1 and is approximately 1/2 of the total amount to be reimbursed. The second payment is made September 1 and is the remainder of the total amount due. If a school taxing unit is in need of the second payment before the school year begins, a certificate of necessity, Form 72-035, is submitted to the Tax Commission, and the second payment will be made June 1. Reimbursement may be withheld until a taxing unit submits a proper request. For regular exemption, a total of $100 per applicant is reimbursed to the taxing unit. 1/2 of $50 is reimbursed for county taxes exempted. 1/2 of $50 is reimbursed for school taxes exempted. The taxpayer is entitled to a maximum of $300 of exemption and a minimum of $6 of exemption. However, the reimbursement made to the county will always be $100 per applicant. Each reimbursement check is accompanied by a notice of distribution, Form 72-036. This form indicates the amount of reimbursement to the county general fund and the school district general fund. For additional exemptions, the municipality in whose taxing district the applicant has claimed homestead property is reimbursed for the tax losses suffered. The actual tax loss suffered by the municipality is reimbursed with a limit of $200 per applicant. An eligible applicant is given his full exemption from the municipality. However, the reimbursement is limited to $200 per applicant. Each reimbursement check is accompanied by a notice of distribution, Form 72-037, which indicates the amount of the reimbursement. To determine the amount of reimbursement due, begin with the figures shown on the certificate of tax loss, subtract all charges, and add all credits. The result will be the total amount of reimbursement for the year. A taxing unit is limited in the amount of reimbursement it can receive. The amount of reimbursement cannot be more than 106% of the previous year's reimbursement. The reimbursement cannot be less than the amount reimbursed the previous year unless the number of applicants has been reduced. All documents needed to determine the actual amount of reimbursement due are sent to the various taxing units.